I've applied to over 100 jobs off of Indeed, Handshake, my university's job board, and guess how many jobs I've gotten? None. At this point, applying for jobs kind of feels like I'm just sending it out into the void because either when I hear back, it's a denial, or if I actually get an interview well, just don't get the next interview.
Bro, I feel like you have a better chance of finding your dad that left 10 years ago than to find a job in 2025. Like, I swear, bruh, nobody wants to hire me. It's like, why even say y'all are hiring in the first place if y'all won't even take a second to look at my application? Finding a job nowadays is like dating. You're out here shooting your shot by putting in all these applications only for these companies to end up ghosting you. Not even a simple email saying that I wasn't selected. These companies just go completely ghost on you. They out here treating me like I'm some hoe or something. Because tell me why a few months back when I was looking for a new job because my current one wanted to cut my hours like LeVar Ball cutting off his leg type shit. And so when that shit happened, I applied to over 100 jobs and we are now in March. It's been a few months and not a single one ever hit me back. Not even McDonald's, bruh. Ronald McDonald out here hoeing by not giving people jobs. That greedy ass clown. Bro, you know you are cooked when not even McDonald's wants to hire your chopped ass. My advice to the people that are currently employed, please, for the love of God, keep that job that you hate so much. If you are one of those that keeps showing up late for work, you better start coming in at least an hour early. And for the ones that keep calling in for work, I want you to hop in that 1999 Civic with 200k miles on it and go clock into that 9 to 5, little bro. Because I promise you, the way the job market is nowadays, the last thing you want to happen to you is to lose your job.
At this point, I think I'm just gonna sell feet pics online for money because the job market right now is shit! I'm currently looking for a job and I don't have that much experience, so I'm just looking for an entry-level position, okay? Nothing too crazy. I'm like looking at these entry-level positions. Let me know why one of them said 8 fucking years of experience. 8 years? You see, I'm no mathematician, but I graduated from college 2 years ago, and the last time I checked, college was 4 years? So 4 plus 2 is 6, right? So the extra 2 years would have meant that I would have been in high school. 8 years of industrial experience. Girl, I was still busy learning what the nucleus of a cell was. Like, you mean 8 years of industrial experience? No. Wait.
And people at jobs like Walmart, bro, I be calling up Walmart. I be like, y'all hiring? They be like, nah, bro. Call next year. I'm looking at the site right now. I know y'all hiring, bro. Why are you gatekeeping me, bro? Like, let me get money too, bro. Like, y'all not letting nobody in there? I see you are.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Finding a job in 2025 is one of the worst and most difficult things you have to go through the job market process. Because they ain't trying to hire nobody. They'll say, oh, we are hiring and stuff like that. But bruh, they're only selecting the people that's fit for that position or some old ass person. Like, you can just submit your application online and shit. Then you get the email back saying if it corresponds to their requirements, a member of the recruitment team will contact you. Then you'll hear something back within the same day or a couple of days later saying, we have received your application, but we have decided to pursue other candidates. Or in that same email it says, oh, we found another candidate that's suitable for the role. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It's just like, bro, we're cooked.
Is anyone else that's on the job hunt really annoyed with all these people saying, just do this, just do that, just tailor your resume, just apply this, just reach out to hiring managers that? We know. This is not new information. We know. The job market sucks. It's not the market you were in 10 years ago that you learned all this stuff in. It's not the same. It sucks. Especially in DC area where everybody's getting laid off. Everybody got doged, including myself. 2 months. A little over 2 months. 2.5. I'm tired of being unemployed. Pretty tired of it.
Bro, I can't be the only one to think it's impossible to get a job right now. Like, I don't know how it was back then, but it's fucking impossible to get a job right now. Like, you would apply on Indeed, people be like, it's easy to find a job. It's easy to find a job. Motherfucker, you try. You try. Quit your job and see if you can find another job. Because you can.
Is anyone else applying to jobs and going through the exact same thing? A job posted this week, over 100 applicants. Posted 5 hours ago, over 100 applicants. Okay, this is crazy. 1 hour ago, over 100 applicants. I actually feel like applying on LinkedIn and Indeed is dead. While it's alive, you'll just be applying against thousands of people.
Like, you have to know someone through a friend, a family member, or through management to get a job. That's why it's so important to really just keep a job in this economy. I'm telling you. Like, I know you want to quit that job, trust me. But if you want to quit that job, you better have at least a plan or something, or you're doing something on the side that's making you good money.
This is literally insane. They tell you to be a contributory member of society. What they don't mention is that there's no work. Thousands, heck, millions of people want real jobs. Companies aren't hiring, they're just posting. Posting jobs like thirst traps for investors. Angling fake hope for people who want to just eat or see a dentist. The system demands labor but forgot to schedule the shifts. It tells you to chase meaning at work but then hands you a BuzzFeed quiz titled, "Which intern are you?" You aren't lazy, you're unemployed by design. Capitalism doesn't need everyone to work. It just needs everyone to need to work. That's why we seriously need UBI, or universal basic income. People can stop chasing ghost jobs and start building real lives. Because this economy, it's not broken, it's just gaslighting you.
All right. Name? Dwight Schrute. Thank you, Mr. Schnute. We will let you know.
You have to interview me.
I just did. The answer to that one question told me everything I need to know.
I demand more questions.
All right, guys, good day. A lot of candidates. Let's discuss.
So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago, and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired? And she was like, oh, like, you just, like, don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had, like, more experience than you.
The job market right now is so trash that you might as well just stay at that shitty job that you hate until you get like another job locked in. So up until last week, I was unemployed for about 2 months. And the first month, I pretty much just chilled, treated it like a vacation. But by the second month, that's when I started applying to places. And I applied to about 10, 15 different places. And out of those 15 places, I heard back from maybe only 1 or 2 places. The rest, I didn't get no call, no emails, nothing. And when I had a job, I would see people come on here all the time talking about how the job market's shitty, that it sucks. And I really thought they were just talking. I didn't think it was true until I actually was unemployed and was looking for jobs. That it hit me. It was like, damn, bro, they really ain't lying. The job market really fucking sucks right now.
The interview process as well. When you go to that job for that interview, they're going to ask you dumb questions like, what makes you want to work at this particular job? And it's just like, bruh, I need the job to pay bills. I just need to maintain and survive. Then you go through the job interview process and then they'll tell you, oh, well, we got other candidates lined up, but we'll let you know when you get the job or whatever. And you don't hear from their ass again. No call, no update, etc. It's like a person leaving you on red and going ghost. That's literally how it's like. And I've probably been ghosted for like 5 to 10 years now by these jobs. But all I gotta say is, bro, keep that job, man. If you're trying to find a job, don't give up. You'll get the job that you want.
And another thing, because this gets me heated, unless you've been on a job search in the last 2 years, you do not know how bad it is out here.
Guarantee the only reason you don't have a job right now is because you are not trying.
Bro, I swear, like, these TikToks have been like, I've been seeing these TikToks all day, and it's just been pissing me off because I've literally been applying to jobs that I'm qualified for. Retail, management, banking, customer service in general. And no one is like hiring, it seems like, for real. Like, they have these like Indeed postings and whatever. Like, if you go back into the video that I'm stitching, it says, have you taken your resume? I'm like, yeah, bro, like, I'll apply. And like next day I'm like, all right, cool, here's a physical copy of my resume because HR can be some hoes and not give it to the manager. And I've done that at 4 different banks. I've done that at different customer service places that I've applied. Half of them don't even call me back. Half of them just don't even contact me saying, we don't even pick you. Or the ones when I do get an email or do get an interview, it takes so long and they're like, no. And I'm like, bitch, what? Oh, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Like, I'm stressed. Why is the job market so trash, bro?
The job market in 2025 has been the worst that has ever been. If you think the job market was bad in 2024, which was last year, it is even worse this year. Long story short, I have a friend who has a lot of experience in managing restaurants. He also has many years experience with sales as well. He was a manager at his restaurants, and he was also a manager in his sales role position when he worked in sales. So his resume is pretty solid and pretty stacked up. Unfortunately for him, the company went under, so now he's looking for a new job. He told me he had so many job interviews. He applied for multiple positions, qualified, some even overqualified, and he still wasn't able to land the job. Keep in mind, he wasn't just a regular worker, like a regular team member. He was actually managing these places with multiple years of experience. And he's a pretty smart, educated dude too. He personally thinks the job market is so bad, and that because of that, there's so much competition nowadays. Even though he did have a lot of job interviews, there was a lot of jobs that just straight ghosted him or rejected him. So for word of advice, do not quit your current job, even though if you hate it. Do not quit your job unless you have something lined up, or if you have some type of safety net. Now, if it's affecting your mental health, then that's a different story. But just know the job market right now is absolutely brutal. And be grateful for your jobs, because there's people out there that are trying their hardest and they're not getting nothing.
Like, bro, the comp on Indeed is terrifying, bro. You apply for a bagger at like some random gas station, bro. You be having fucking 10,000 different applicants, bro. They're picking you through you're like a needle in a haystack, bro. You're not getting picked, bro. I promise you're not getting picked.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you need to stop judging people who are on the job search. You need to stop saying things like, everybody's hiring, or the job market's not tough, unemployment is at an all-time low. Or even worse, why don't you just go get a job at Home Depot or McDonald's? Guys, I've been in recruiting for coming up to a decade, and I've never seen job seekers struggle as much as they are right now. In fact, other than the last few years, over the past decade, it has been a candidate market. Most companies I've worked with have struggled to find good quality candidates. But in this market, they are not having that issue. Especially for corporate positions, they are getting thousands of applicants. That's why we're seeing longer rounds of interviews. That's why we're seeing more assessments. That's why we're seeing companies be really, really picky. And it's why we're seeing lowball offers going out right now. If you want to know what it's like being on the job market, just think about applying to hundreds and thousands of jobs and not hearing anything from 99% of those companies. And then when you do hear back from them, it's either a scam, some kind of MLM, or they want you to go through 20 rounds of interviews only to be put up against 10 other people to ultimately get rejected. It is brutal out there.
I'm gonna make this quick because I gotta go back into work. But the reason why the job market is so bad is not because of what you think. And I need you to watch this whole video. Do y'all think make this video go everywhere? Because there's a whole bunch of confusion and misunderstanding. So the thing that Gen Z and millennials are not aware of is that these motherfuckers are old in the workplace. These people will work these jobs no matter what the fuck they pay them. A lot of people are stuck at these jobs because they have their pensions tied to their job and 401ks and shit. The boomer and the Gen X workplace culture is not what millennials and Gen Z are used to. We are taught work a place 2 years and then use that place to have some forward momentum. Boomers and Gen X do not move like that. They work someplace forever. That's why the job market fucking sucks. These motherfuckers will not leave their jobs. I can't tell you how many old people I see working physical labor jobs and they don't have any capacity to do so.
But hold on, there's more. The tomfoolery doesn't end here. Nope. All of a sudden, all companies want to release ghost jobs where they just leave the position, but they never intend to fill it. So it's basically just rotting up there on the job board for like 6-7 months, and people are applying, getting their hopes up, and trying to get a new job, but clearly that job isn't meant to be filled. So like, why is it still there? You're wasting my time! I want a job and I want it now! I'm literally gonna pull a Katie Fang and start crying because of work. But the difference between me and her is that she actually has a job. Meanwhile, I don't. Oh my god. Wait, that makes it worse. Wait. Oh my god.
I don't get how there are people out there that say like nobody wants to work, yet there are people like me who graduated almost 2 years ago and have submitted over 1,500 job applications. And I still don't have a job. I've been doing like side work and social media and stuff to pay the bills. But if it wasn't for that, I'd be homeless. I'd probably be homeless, completely broke. but 1,500 job applications, and I've gotten maybe 20 or so interviews, I guess. I've been to the second round a whopping 5 times. 5 times in 1,500 job applications. Or 1,200. I don't even know. I stopped counting after 1,000. But in 2025, I'm boggled that anyone is getting a job in this market. And people are still saying that nobody wants to work. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a master's degree and I can't even get a job. College is a complete scam. Do not go. Save yourself the money.